All right. Well, good morning, everyone. It is Monday morning and I'm back. Here I am. It is February 9th, 9 a.m. Thank you guys very much for being on this call. We've got some great things happening today, but I want to first, why we are here. We are here to serve those that serve others. That is you. And we want to ensure that we're delivering on that promise. So if we've done something awesome, if you've seen an HPM teammate step up, we would love to hear about it. You can put it in the chat here or send us an email, a text message, a flare, whatever. We want to recognize those folks that have done something great for you. But also at the same token, if we're not meeting that expectation, I need to hear about it. So please don't be shy. Nobody's going to get in trouble. You know, I'm a coach here versus a corrector. And we want to make sure that we're helping everybody step up. So just want to put that out there. You know, our goal is the same. We want to serve you so you can turn around and serve your clients to the best of your ability. So keep that in mind. I also want to say a special thanks to Nick Street for running the call last week. Great feedback, by the way, Nick. You did a great job. And everyone was commenting on how awesome your haircut was. So just so you know that. Here we go. So as we normally start, we have to keep one foot in the classroom and the other one in the field at all times. So we're going to jump over to our training calendar. I'm going to share my screen here. Here we go. Boom. If I can get a thumbs up if you guys can see my screen okay. Gail's mentioning Cindy is always organized and on top of her game. Thank you so much. And thank you guys. You can see my screen. Fantastic. I'm trying to continue to write blogs on the HQ dashboard here. And as HQ 2.0 begins to roll out later this quarter, we're going to have a new blog section for sure. But I am basically taking a recap of this call and placing it in the blog. So if you or any other teammate on your team or fellow agent is just not able to make these calls or prefers to read them, a lot of the digest, the summary is going to be here in this blog. So just so you know, it's kind of like weekly recap / what do we got to do to prepare for this week. It's going to live on this blog in a condensed version. So you can read it in like less than 2 minutes. You can read it on the go. It should be mobile responsive. So if you want to log in and do that, you can do that as well. But just wanted to point that out as far as that goes. As updates, we're going to jump over to learning. Let's check out our training calendar for this week. We're going to click the training calendar. And I always like to go to this week view just because it's a little bit easier to digest. We have some special guests here today. We're actually doing something interesting. We are going to be doing a co-host double guest speaker with Centerwell and Freedom. So we welcome them. We'll talk with them in about 10 minutes. But so pay attention, grab your notepad, and be present. If there's anything you want to be present today. Lots of training starting to pop up this week. So I'm not going to go through a lot of them, but HealthSpring, you can see Cigna is doing quite a bit of training. Today at 10 o'clock, they're going over the special election periods, which is essential for what you're doing. Retention strategies at 4 o'clock today. They're doing a deep dive into complaints and how to stay compliant, 10 o'clock tomorrow. And then they're also doing a CSNP enrollment verification at 4 o'clock tomorrow. And then one for OEP and MA there. We've got UHC best practices at noon tomorrow. What you should be doing for open enrollment. We're almost about halfway there through OEP Medicare. So best practices, you want to check that out. And then Spark, understanding CSNPs. This is fantastic. Our partner with Spark is hosting a training there tomorrow at 1 o'clock. Moving over to Wednesday, we've got your coach Al Clancy. Every great player has a great coach. Michael Jordan, Stephen Curry, the King, LeBron, All of them have great coaches. So do you have a coach? Do you have somebody that's going to help you? We've got one on staff here to help you out. 9:30 on Wednesdays. 60 Minutes to Success for Medicare supplement plans. A lot of you have asked and asked and asked for that. That is happening. It's 60 Minutes to Success Wednesday at noon. There is a broker mixer. If you're in the Jacksonville market, Family Care Partners is up there from 4 to 6. Check that out. Meet some doctors. Another Medicare training at 9 on Thursday. That's 101. Health Spring, again, your DSNP knowledge. You can check that out. Devoted OEP training. We're actually hosting this this Thursday at noon. So Nick is reminding us, if you choose at least one, that would be the one to go to if you're in the Orlando market. This is over in Oakland, which is Claremont area-ish, but like, way west of Orange County. Check that out. We do want to ensure that you guys are up to date with your OEP info. So that's the one that you want to do. Thank you, Nick, for the reminder on that. UHC, how to close a sale, 2 o'clock on Thursday, followed by HQ intro, 3 o'clock. And then HealthSpring, again, that military benefits, VA benefits and things like that. That's at 4 o'clock on Thursday. You can get your HPM selling tool training done at 9:30 on Friday. And then, of course, that Cigna training. So again, lots of different options for you for training this week. Just a quick reminder, guys, if you do one training per week, what would it do for your business? What would it do for your business if you learned one topic per week? That's 52 topics a year. How fast will you excel? Because this business it's not about just, getting leads. You have to continue to learn. This is a learning business. Okay. I would love to hear in the chat, if you guys can post, what's one thing that you learned that is starting to change the game for you? One training that you attended that you have seen a significant growth, or you have seen a shift, or you have got it, or it just snapped into place. I would love to hear about that in the chat. If you guys can put that in there. Training is essential. I cannot stress it enough. This is what you want to do. Okay. Okay. Yeah, Mike, thank you for watching the queue for the presenters. Appreciate that. Awesome. Cool. Very cool. So that's the training for this week. Remember, guys, 1 foot in the classroom, the other one in the field at all times. Thank you, Nancy. You will grow. That is true. You will grow. So again, put something in the chat if you have seen a shift. Kelly saying TRICARE training has been productive. Awesome. So you're diving deep into military benefits. Love that. Rosie started her SSA and we'll have it done by the end of the month. I saw a certificate, so thank you for sharing that. So you've already started on that path. It's amazing. So RSSA, you can become a certified Social Security analyst, which is a fantastic benefit. You can actually charge people for that service. We run it here through HPM. So if you're interested, you can reach out to support at askhpm.com and we could just set up on that. We'd love to help you with that. That's all the trainings. Let's go, guys. Who else has been in training and learned something and like starting to see their career shift? I would love to hear that. If you're not seeing that, you need to start moving in that direction, because guess what, guys? In 2026, things are going to shift again. And then you're going to be sitting back being like, what just happened? So remember, you got to keep that footing, one in the classroom, one in the field at all times. Okay. Quick update. Couple of updates, actually. I do want to, let me close that. Let me just stop sharing real quick. I do want to share with you guys that top producer for January, that award goes to Crystal Bowens-Quarterman. Congratulations to her for really producing. And if you guys want to know what she's doing, it's events. So no secret. Events, reach out to us. We'll help you level up. I do want to thank everybody for attending the advisor training last month. We're going to have another one coming up in February. Nick, if you can post that date just so everybody locks that in. Oh, no, actually, it's right here. Thursday, February 26th. If you guys can lock that in Thursday, February 26th.
Hey, Justin.
Yep.
Sorry to interrupt real quick.
Mhm.
The advisor trainings are going to most likely be on the last Thursday of every month. There's a few months that we had to switch around just because we had to find a location at a different date and like the gala and different things like that. But most of the time from January to September, it's going to be the last Thursday, whatever that last Thursday is. It's safe to put it in the calendar, and it's already in the training calendar, should be. So if you want to save the date, plan your day accordingly, your months accordingly, and we're going to steer them more towards an actual trainings, but we just need to know what you guys want trained on that we can get specific on. But this month we're going to do seminars, I believe. So how to do seminars. So
awesome. No, that's super helpful. Thank you. So yeah, that's Thursday, February 26th is the next one. If you're in the Orlando market, Centerwell, it'll be at Centerwell. It's also sponsored by Aetna. So Aetna will be in attendance there. Also want to congratulate Liz Caballero as our, for the top producer dinner winner. So that was, is that for January, Nick? I think that was for January as well.
No, no. So Liz is the January, yes, and Crystal was the previous December.
Oh, in December. Thank you for that. Okay, so Crystal, I didn't give a shout out to Crystal before, so I want to give her a shout out here. And then Liz for January. So congrats, Liz. She's been crushing it in OEP. Fantastic. And then just so you guys know, as far as top enrollments for carriers in Q1, it's still trending the same way as we saw in AEP. But we have seen a strong start with Freedom. We're already at 50% of our goal. So pay attention to the training today and the news that you have with Freedom. They are in our agency about third place behind you, Humana and United, but sneaking up on United to go for second place. So when we see stuff like that, there's things that you need to pay attention to with Freedom specifically. So be on lookout as it goes today. Let me pause here and just check the chat here. Thank you, Rosie, for confirming training is part of your success in this business and resilience is the name of the game. Sergio's learning about UH1 ancillary benefits. Let me tell you guys, like, if you want cross-sell opportunities, if you want ways in the door for new clients, ancillary products are just the way. It is amazing, and we're hosting quite a bit of stuff. So if you haven't gotten contracted with UH1, that is our premier ancillary product for 2026. So check that out. Nancy did her special needs training. Fantastic. Love to see that. Jose's doing a training at the end of the month. Yes, Rosie, for events. This is the name of the game. And by the way, we have our podcast, guys, and Jose's was launched. His episode was launched, I think, last week. So if you want to hear about events, know about events, go out to our link. Mike, if you don't mind posting that in the chat there, our YouTube and our Spotify link. If you haven't subscribed yet, we're starting to get some traction on the channel, which is fantastic. It means that we're doing something right, and we don't want you guys to miss out on it. So, please make sure that you go out there and subscribe to the channel, watch those episodes, because some of these guys are dropping gold on this podcast. Like, they are just dropping gold, and it's unreal. So check that out. Let's see. Mary, Freedom is excellent. Saves AOR. Just need additional providers in Volusia. Thank you for that feedback. Absolutely. They're on the call and they are listening. Rosie, last week, great things are being shared. Absolutely. So continue to listen in. We're dropping an episode every week. We're about to shoot 3 more here, and we're gonna have a new studio here in at Edgewater. If you've been over on this side of the world, we're gonna have a new little podcast studio, which is gonna be pretty cool. So just one other quick update I want to make sure everybody's aware of is Ambetter is really tightening their new agent onboarding. So if you are currently contracted with Ambetter, no problems for you there. But for new agents, so agency partners, new agents that you're sending in, there's going to be strict requirements for getting contracted with Ambetter. Just heads up. They're looking to see what type of marketing and advertising they're doing. And then especially if you're expanding into new states with Ambetter, they want to know what your plan of action is, what's your business plan, what's your marketing plan. And then they want to see if you have any membership, how many enrollments you're going to commit to, and if you've got all the proper certifications. And the reason why is because, there's been so many agents that have got contracted and have done 0 sales. So it's a waste of time and money for the carriers. And it's just not a great look. So thank you, Mike. Mike just posted the links to the YouTube and the Spotify podcasts. We're already on season 2, halfway through almost. So appreciate you guys that have been listening to it. It takes a lot of time and energy to get that off the ground. So appreciate that. Nancy says, love freedom. Just need to have a better OTC products. They're listening and they're going to talk about that too. And Rosie says, any news on the Humana contracting freeze? I'll let Mike handle that in the chat there. I don't think there's been any news on that. I haven't seen anything yet. But Mike, you can confirm in the chat if you've heard anything else. Other than that, I'd like to welcome, for the first time, we're doing a double co-host here. We've got Brian Clemens of Centerwell, and I'm going to make him a presenter here. And then I've got Tori Glover of Elevance, which is the Freedom Optimum Simply Health Sun realm there. And I just made you guys presenters, so you should see something pop up here. I got you both. Brian, can you hear us?
Absolutely, I can. And thank you, Justin, for the invitation. Nick, for the invitation to join you guys this morning. By the way, rockin' beard. I haven't seen that yet. So well done, my friend. Well done.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. And I don't know. Did Tori jump in? I don't want to, know.
No, I'm right here. I can hear you. Yeah. And Justin, nice beard, my friend.
Thanks, man. Thanks, man. When I saw yours, I was like, okay, I got to step up my game.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got an infantile beard, so I can't even jump in on the conversation here. So, but what I'll do is, Tori, if you're okay with it, I'm going to kick it to you first, and then I will follow after you do your thing.
Yeah. No worries. First and foremost, Lewis is on the call too. He's also my Freedom colleague over in Volusia and the Treasure Coast area. But for those of you that don't know me, I'm Tori Glover Sr. I am the broker regional sales manager for the Villages area, which encompasses Lake, Marion, and Sumter County. So any of your agents that sell in those counties, I'm your guy to come to for anything that you guys need, whether it be in regards to setting up events, to swag, what have you. I'm here to support all of your Lake, Marion, and Sumter County agents that sell in this area. Again, Lewis is on the call, and again, we just attended actually your training the other day, which was excellent. Nick can probably attest to that. It was a lot of your agents, a lot of questions, a lot of great questions. Everyone thought it was well received. Lewis and I really depend on you guys because you guys are 85% of our business. Just hands down, as brokers, you're 85% of our business, and you guys do really excellent in both our respective areas. But I wanted to make note that the importance of the trainings that we hold, Lewis and I do in our respective territories, it's very important to attend these. We are really, really, really concentrating on the SSBCI and CSNPs. I know someone had mentioned something about CSNPs in the chat. Being the number one CSNP player in the market, we have 98% of your clients actually accepted on our CSNP plan, so which is awesome. But it is very important to keep track of these guys as well. If you haven't received any communications from either Lewis or I or from the company, there is a VIP portal that all agents normally use that you can track your CSNPs. We normally send out stuff to you as well once it gets to that month before they're either going to cancel or you have to do a plan change. But it's very, very, very important that all of your agents take a look at that portal. Just check it from time to time to see if there's anyone that needs to be verified on that end. SSBCI is very important. Since we've converted from our VBID model to SSBCI. A lot of confusion with the 180 days versus the 60 days for CSNPs. So we all hold trainings on those. And actually, Lewis has a training tomorrow for that. I don't know what time. We can put the link in the chat, or we can send out an email to everyone on this call, and there'll be the 10 those trainings. I'm also doing SSBCI and CSNP trainings on Thursday at 11 o'clock. I can put the link in, or I can send out a blanket email to everyone so they can join. Those are very, very, very important trainings, especially going in, besides going through OEP, but going into lock-in as well. So it's very important. It's important that you guys everyone understands how these things work, which makes it a lot easier for you and a lot easier when you're selling to your members as far as that goes. But that's all I had. I know Lewis is on. I didn't know if there's anything else, any questions that you have for us, but please, please, please attend these seminars if you can, these trainings if you can, because they are very important for you guys to be successful in the market.
Yeah, Tori, thank you very much. If you don't mind, if you can add Nick to your mailing list on those trainings, and then we'll get it over to Tom. And Nick, if you could share Tom's email as well, because Tom will put it on the training calendar. They may not have been in that loop, so they take care of the calendar. So
sure, no worries. No worries.
Yeah, appreciate that a lot, because SSBCI has been confusing for a lot of agents.
Yes.
And since it's new, we really want to ensure that you guys are getting the latest information, and it's going to continue to shift a little bit, year over year. And these guys are the pros, so you want to make sure that you get that. They're asking if there's any, I'm assuming, trainings in the Tampa market for Freedom Optimum.
Yes, and there are. Jessica Vitello is the Hillsborough County RSM. Our entire team in the West, and even Lewis in the East, we do trainings. We do at least 3 virtual trainings a month besides our in-person trainings. So I can get with her as well, and have Nick put on that calendar as well if you want me to do that, Justin. And then we can get those out, and you can join her virtual trainings in Tampa.
Awesome. Yeah, and Lewis just posted the flyer there for February 10th at 10 a.m., which is tomorrow. And then they have one in Espanol at 11, same day there. It's a virtual training, so anyone can join from anywhere. And you guys got a diver on there, deep dive. I love that, because I'm a diver. So you got me hooked, man. I'm there.
That's good. That's good. Yeah. That's what we want.
Awesome. So again, guys, CSNPs, SSBCI, how are you navigating these things? These are the guys and the pros that are doing it. So, Tori, thank you very much. If you don't mind posting your contact info in the chat for you and your team. And then John just posted here, guys, check, a few minutes every day or just once a week, check your portal for CSNPs enrollments. We do our best as an FMO, like we get a list of them and then we'll try to contact you. But if you get in front of it, it's a way better. So essentially, there's a verification form that needs to be completed. And if that doesn't get completed, your member could get disenrolled. So that's what Tori is alluding to. And so CSNPs are a great way to grow your book of business. It's the fastest growing section of Medicare Advantage right now. So if you're selling Medicare Advantage, you have to know CSNPs, you have to know SSBCI, because it all ties together. These are the guys that'll get you there. And it's no coincidence that they're the #1 CSNP selling plan. So, I mean, just pay attention to that, as Tori said. Awesome. So we've got contact info in the chat. Thank you guys for that. And then if you want to tag team Brian in, and we can talk about Centerwell. And then I really like to see like how you and Centerwell and Freedom, how you guys are kind of working together. I love that synergy is really interesting for me.
I can tell you, if anybody has ever dealt with Tori or Mitesh before, if you need a follow-up phone call, if you need an email responded to, their customer service as far as dealing with brokers or issues is probably the best in Central Florida. If I'm being honest, just as far as their communication style. So that's shameless and unprecedented, but and I know Tori's on the call with me, but I've been dealing with these guys for a long time now in my other role at Aegis and my role here, and customer service. They are definitely good on follow-up. So I got to give the devil their due right there. And also I would tell you, Justin, since we jumped into SSBCI, that's great kind of segue to the provider side and care disruption. And what we're dealing with on our side. And then sometimes, we get these fire drills where folks need that form filled out right away. And I understand why it's a fire drill, because their member may lose their benefits if it's not done in a timely fashion. So I would just say is, if you guys are having any problems getting those SSBCIs or CSNP verifications, any difficulty at all, please, I also, Justin, will put my contact information in the chat. Reach out to me, or if it's one of the Conviva centers, I will put, if you reach out to me, I will put you in contact with the other ADs. Let's say it's Miami, Broward, somewhere like that. I will put you in contact with those ADs so that you guys can get your SSBCIs or your CSNP verifications done. Or if we have to expedite a process, to go straight to a center administrator or a regional director, that's the kind of customer service you guys and your members deserve. And if anybody, Justin, you were talking about the marketplace, I'll talk a little bit about the marketplace too. If anybody back in 2017, and I'm very impassioned about senior care. If anybody saw the CDC report on the number of people in this country that have diabetes or are pre-diabetic, it's going to be about a third of the country fall into those two categories by 2030. So you're talking, we're a 340 million person country, and a third of that is going to be either pre-diabetic or diabetic. So, and I won't get started, Justin. We could talk all day. I know people when they interact with me, I'll give them 1,000 books to read on what's in our food and all that stuff. But I won't jump into that because your meeting's not long enough for me to do that. But what I will tell you is I'm impassioned about aging and aging well. And then what does that look like? Well, in the case of like CSNPs, which we're talking about with Freedom 070072, which are specifically for diabetics. Tori, how about that? Knowing your plan numbers right off the top of my head. It is super, super important for not for people to take their medications, if the doctor has found medication, but also to get in front of it rather than be behind it, because then we go into all kinds of medical issues on the back end of diabetes, which if anybody's dealt with diabetic neuropathy or sometimes, and I won't get too graphic here, but when you're talking about end organ damage and those type of things from diabetes, it is not a pleasant picture. So I'd rather be on the front end in healthcare than on the back end of that. So, and that's kind of the center wall model. So I'll jump just briefly into that, Justin, and I'll tell you how we're kind of different than some of the other providers that are in the marketplace. And we are a good part of Freedom is just like you were talking about, Justin, actually our second fastest growing plan behind Humanicare Plus. We kind of combine the two of them. That right behind them is Freedom, and on the move, kind of growing at a faster pace than some of the others. So in regard to that, I would just say how we're different now, to go back, is we keep agent of record just like Freedom does. So if there are any customer service issues, if a member doesn't know how to execute their plan, or if they're just confused by what benefits they have, in Salesforce, we have you on record. We're going to reach back out to you. Another way that we're a little bit different in the marketplace is that we do not allow agents, career agents, brokers, anyone access to our clinics. There'll be no tabletopping. There will not be anyone inside the clinic. And it's going to be interesting when we do full transition up into the villages, because they have what they call a herd, which is people inside the clinic. So that'll be interesting, guys, but we haven't fully integrated that. So more to come on that, because I believe in the marketplace. But that's the very reason, like once you've had a sale, it's under attack all the time at a Bravo or a Sedano's or, you name it. If somebody goes to the Outdoor Art Festival or something like that, it's your book of business is constantly under attack. Yeah. We don't want it to be inside of one of our clinics that your book's under attack. At least, it's kind of a little safe haven behind the doors of Centerwell. What happens out in the universe, I can't control that, but we do have access and can say inside the clinic if there are customer service issues, or if your client has a question, it's going back to you. We're not farming it out to our buddies or anything like that. That's just not the way it's going to happen here. And that's how we can kind of be a little bit different than some of the other providers that are out there. As well, Justin, I know you're always impassioned when I talk about this stuff, is we have this community engagement professionals. You were just talking about events, right? So it kind of ties together what you were talking about. Our people are plugged in, tuned in all the time. If anybody's met Maria or some of our other people, just got the St. Cloud event that's on the lakefront. We are constantly trying to find productive events, recycling the same folks over and over again. No, we're looking for senior centers that haven't been tapped. We're looking for events that aren't flooded with every other provider group under the sun. We're looking for T65s with some of our carrier partners. You said I think Aetna is going to be with us coming up at the end with you guys at our corporate headquarters at the end of February here. So we're looking for all of those things. A T65 sale is probably, you're talking about gold earlier, right, Justin? A T65 sale's got to be gold, right? If I understand this correctly, the way this game is played. And then the retention, I think, is higher on T65s. At some of the numbers I've been looking at, is retention is higher on a T65 too. They sort of trust who kind of brought them into this environment. So those are just a few of the things we do. And when I see you guys at the end of February, I'll probably go through a little mini slide presentation, but this seemed to be a little more conversational, so that's why I went there. Was I too long-winded? Did I go too long?
Amazing. And there's a point that you made, and I love your phrasing on this: a safe haven for your clients. And we have talked about this a lot with agents, and essentially thinking of doctors. A lot of agents come into this business thinking that doctors is just a lead source. And guys, you guys got it backwards. The first and your priority in finding a physician or a physician group to work with is to lock your clients in. You need a partner that's going to be, at the gate with swords and shields protecting your clients. So that's like essential. If you're just putting your clients to any random doctor, you are opening your book of business up for attack, like what Brian's saying. So if you know for sure, like, hey, Centerwell protects my clients. When I go there, I know Brian, I know his team. They have my agent of record. Any issues I have, they're addressing it. If you've got your book of business spread across umpteen doctors, none of those doctors are loyal to you, right? They don't care. So like that should be your priority one. Like, why should I work with doctors? So I can find a place to lock my business in. Okay. Centerwell is one of those places. Okay. If not the place I would trust to put my clients in. Okay. So that's number one. Then number two is what he described as he's got his reps out there bird dogging. They're looking for the same clients you guys are. They can do things you can't because they're not licensed. So they can market, they can get in front of people, they can actually approach people about the clinic. And then if they come across somebody that doesn't have the correct plan and needs help with their health plan, then they can refer that business to you. But they're only going to work with the agents that have a relationship with the clinic. And it's not just like, oh, who gave me the most sales? Because Brian doesn't work that way. It's like, hey, who do we have the relationship with? Who do we trust? You can have an agent put in 100 sales, but if he doesn't trust that agent, there's going to be a problem there, right? Or the agent that shows up is responsive, does the events with them, willing to put skin in the game, is just, being, a pillar in the community is essential. So I just wanted to add to that. Brian, I don't know if you want to add anything else.
Did, Justin. I want to say I agree with what you just said 100%. Somebody puts 100 sales in our clinic, but then they're down at IMA a year later. How have I benefited the client or the senior? And that means nothing to me. If we have somebody who's parked, our doctor's doing a good job taking care of them, managing let's use chronic conditions. Our doctor's doing a good job of managing their chronic conditions. They're staying on your book. Then let's go build your book out in the community like we're talking about. But just for $200 or $300, I'm going to move them from here to here to here. That's just not the way we're set up to do business. We'd prefer that you park them, we take care of them, and then we go look for new business with that same model in mind. And in trust, relationships and trust. You're speaking my language. You know me. You've known me for
Yeah,
a long
man.
time. You're speaking my
Yeah.
language, brother.
Yeah.
That's just how we do business. And I know there's some turnover with physicians in the marketplace. I wish I could stop that too, but we'll do our best to, when your people are in, just again, consistency over time. I don't think, you hear in this clinic 1 year, then you're in this other clinic another year, and then, hey, because I need $300, here's this other clinic down the road. If they've got legitimate complaints, they don't feel like they're getting the care that they need. I get that. But if they're getting the care that you need, let's keep them in place. So there's that consistency over time and the trust between your people, and my people. And that's kind of it in a nutshell.
Oh man, it's that's what's up. And then like lastly, last question here, because I know everybody's busy and you guys got stuff to do. As far as like the SSBCI and the CSNP products, specifically with Freedom, what are you seeing out there that, maybe agents are not paying attention to, or you would recommend as far as like, I don't know. We're seeing quite a bit of issues with like verifications. Like we're doing our best, but coming from the physician side, I don't know if you have any recommendations or thoughts or, what you guys are seeing and how we can help you when we're putting a CSNP member in with CenterWell.
I would just say this. I'm fighting my own battle on not just your behalf, but on Freedom's behalf, as well as, I'm going to use another carrier here, WellCare's behalf. I'm trying to, how when people get in the cycle of doing things the same way over time, then change is introduced and there's resistance to change. I'm in the middle of dealing with that because I think the link that Freedom has put together for registration for these programs, and that WellCare is trying to do the same thing, trying to put a link. It is, I think it's 2026, isn't it, Justin? Correct me on this. And it's 1999 where we use faxes, and
right.
I'm just blown away that people still want to use a fax or attach, scan something. Think about the multiple steps. Okay, let's get the form, let's fill it out, let's scan it, let's attach it. Or we could just use the link and it's verified and registered. So that's just so your people know, that's what I'm working with on my side. I'm getting some pushback. I just was in the middle of dealing with this literally about a week and a half ago, and the physicians really are pushing back. So I will put my contact information in the chat, and I'll do everything I can to try to, because I don't get to see the physicians on the regular like our market president does or our regionals do. So I'm working through them to try to get the doctors to come into, the 20th century and beyond, to go ahead and try to use these links, expedite the process. And again, trying to explain to them, sometimes I don't think they're all that tech savvy to understand that your client is at risk of losing the benefits if we don't get that in a timely fashion. So I'm working on the back end. I've been dealing with Mitesh, with Tori on this stuff on the back end. So I just wanted your people to know that's what I'm trying to do with the physicians and with my market president to get them to come up to speed, use the links so that we have less disruption in care and service for your clients.
You see, guys, that's a partner that's thinking ahead for you and with you, like, you got to think about stuff like this. Like Brian's fighting to make it easier for your clients to have a seamless experience when they join you, then the plan, then the provider. That's how it goes. They trust you to help them find a plan and find a provider in that order. And Brian knows that. He knows. So Brian's like the goalie or the safety, right? He's the one that's protecting the end zone for your client, right? So who's your safety? Who's your safety? So think about that when you're partnering with a physician. Man, this was awesome. Thank you, Brian. I really appreciate your time. I know we went a little over. I know your time's very valuable. Tori, Luis, thank you guys very much for being on the call and staying overtime, OT. I know the Patriots, which they had some OT last night, but they got whomped. So we'll leave that there. But thanks again, man.
We appreciate it. I'm honored that you guys let us be involved in this, and thank you for your time. Have a good rest of your meeting.
Yeah. Yes,
Absolutely.
thank you very much. Appreciate it, Justin. Thank you for the invite. And again, I will get out these trainings to Nick so that your agents can participate in these, because it is very important. Education is very important when it comes to SSBCI and CSNP hand in hand. So we want to make sure that all your agents are well versed when they're out in the field. No worries.
You guys are on the front lines of this, and so like I can't stress this enough, guys. Like, you have to show up, you have to go to these trainings, you have to put in the work if you want the goal at the end. If you're going to learn how to do C-SNPs, you got to know freedom. And if you know freedom and you want good C-SNPs, who's your safety? Turn to center well. That's why they did this tag team, because this combo is working. It's working. You're getting clients and they're sticking. I'm giving you the formula, guys. It's right here. This is a formula. Play it and you'll grow your business. So again, thank you, boys. I really appreciate it. If you guys have any questions or want to connect with any of these guys, in case you missed it, you can send an email to support@askhpm.com. That's the easy way. We have a ticket system now, which makes it really easy to track and ensure that we get you connected with either Tori, Luis, or Brian, or all three. So we can do that for you as well. So with that, we'll end here. Thank you guys very much for being on this call. We will continue next Monday. Same place, same time, same channel. And we'll see you next week. Have a fantastic and productive second week of February. Thanks, guys.